Ro.24 허리케인 남기우 태자 윤영석 스페셜 후안 로페즈 스태치 김대영 아프리카 TV 브레이크업 스튜디오 라이브 2020 GSL 시즌 1 코드 S 쇼다운.
Welcome back to GSL Code S. This is Group F, the round of 24, our final day before we go into the round of 16. We have SpeCial versus TaeJa. One of these players is about to be eliminated. Their story will be over. The other goes on to face off against Hurricane, where we will decide the final player to fill in the 16th slot.
Yeah. Whoever ends up winning side stats tonight gets to stay for an extra few hours to do that.
Yeah.
So there is SpeCial. Of course, he came in late, sat down right before he played stats in that first round. Still
Almost missing his match. Glad he made it.
Yeah. There's TaeJa, of course, fresh out of the military, trying to show what he's got. I think he played pretty strongly overall against Hurricane. So, yeah, I mean, I don't feel like he can really get out of this group tonight, but let's see what his TBT looks like. He was always pretty good at TBT back in the day.
Yeah, he's an excellent TBT player, but TaeJa is a very formidable opponent. TaeJa here to turn a new leaf post-military service, trying to get to the round of 16. This should be a pretty close match. Game number 1 starts on Everdream.
전투 준비 완료. 퍼포먼스로 앞서가다 LG 울트라 기어와 넘버원 에너지 드링크 핫식스가 이번 전투를 지원한다고. 스페셜 후안 로페즈 팀 리퀴드 태자 윤영석.
You know, our players that have returned from the military.
We welcome them.
Yeah, it's really cool to see them. Still waiting for someone to really put up a spectacular showing.
It might be a year or two before we have that.
Yeah, for the players that have returned, we talked about it before in Dreams Group, where so far the best players coming back have been Fantasy, who of course now is a head coach for a League of Legends team out here. So he did retire from StarCraft 2, even though he was having like a very nice return.
He still streams StarCraft 2 as well. I think he still plays.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. He was in really good shape. He's starting to beat a bunch of the good players, a bunch of the good pros and everything. And then, of course, Dream has done really well online. Didn't quite make it out of his group. It was a very tough group.
Yeah.
You know, with Ragnarok and Parting ending up making it out of that one. But, you know, TaeJa, he's one of these other guys where it's like looking pretty good, like DRG or Bomber, but, you know, these guys are having a hard time winning matches.
We are still in this phase of the history of StarCraft 2 where it's like 80% of the players still need to do their military service in any given season.
Yeah.
Sometimes even a little bit more than that.
Yeah, yeah, I think it is.
So
generally more than that, but yeah.
We'll see when they choose to do that. In case you guys are wondering, I mean, we can use StarCraft 1 as a pretty good model for how long players can wait. They can defer for a long time.
Yeah.
If you can prove that you're doing something that's age sensitive and time sensitive, especially if it, you know, promotes, in this case it's promoting the country, you're competing on a global stage, even though this is a mostly Korean tournament, you know, they'll let you defer for stuff like that. The government here is very aware of esports.
Yeah.
And so some of these guys are going to have to choose, you know, do we stay? Do we push it back? Flash, for instance, has not done his military service. I don't know what age he's at, but I mean, he's getting up there.
Yeah. A little bit of pressure coming out of TaeJa here, but SpeCial actually smacks it down. Look at that, kills 2 Reapers, loses nothing. So not the best opener so far from TaeJa, but not game ending.
I like TaeJa trying to get in SpeCial's face, but you know, these attacks, they can backfire and you're just not setting yourself up for a healthy mid game, you know.
He's a tricky one to beat in TBT. SpeCial is.
Well, SpeCial has a lot of stamina and a lot of tenacity in his TVT.
He's one of these practice horse guys that will just play all day, no problem.
Yeah. And he's very comfortable just grinding out long TVTs.
Yeah.
And generally speaking, his decision-making in TVT, I think, has improved over the years. You know, sometimes in TVT, you see people attack into something that's not going to work. Mm-hmm. It's one of the matches where we actually see people choose to pick a fight, and it does not succeed at all.
Yeah, whenever that happens at the pro level, it's like, what?
But I think SpeCial had some of that, but he's gotten better and better and better at engages here.
TaeJa going across the map, gets met in the bush. Banshee coming across.
Okay. Banshee's going to come across now and see if he can do some damage over to these workers. We've seen... Oh, that's a good spot. I was going to say we've seen TaeJa be pretty active on the map, but if he sees this, it'll be much easier to handle. It's fairly predictable that Banshees will come at certain phases of the game. You know, it's not like this is the sneakiest thing ever. But the Cyclone's going to come in here and get this. And I don't think there's anywhere this Banshee can go now.
Yeah.
Yep, he loses the Banshee, and it doesn't get any damage, any kills, nothing. So it doesn't even pay for itself.
Well, like you said, that Reaper got that really nice scout off, and that's what happens. You know, he was taking a shorter route to TaeJa's base. So, yeah, percentage chance of them finding that does go up, but your chance for better damage can go up as well. Kind of risk reward. Right now, both of them getting their third command centers. Of course, TaeJa's a little bit quicker. Oh,
Okay.
nice scout there.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Hops right in, sees the timing of that third command.
Yeah, that's pretty important.
Stim starts for both sides.
Oh my gosh.
So no mech this game.
Widowmine still planted here, but good job with the Raven. Just spots that, eliminates that. No problem at all. A SpeCial's going to move out here. I don't know that he's going to commit to any attack. I think, you know, this is going to be a game that should be kind of slow for the starts. We might see some skirmishes, but I don't think it's going to be I think it's going to be a while. I mean, we see more barracks getting thrown down here.
I don't think anyone has the type of army that's going to be greatly favored right now.
There seems to be a lot of respect on both sides in this game. But, I say that now SpeCial's moving out. I'm sorry. I really thought, especially when you see two more
he's
barracks.
He's not going to do anything with it, though, really. He's playing one Raven against two Raven, 3 tanks against 3 tanks.
Well,
2 Vikings against 2 Vikings.
He's still moving,
The odds of him getting anything done with this, very low.
Okay, he's going to back up, seeing those siege tanks siege up there. SpeCial looping around through the top.
Yeah, he's just not going to find anything, though. You see the scans on both sides, just kind of checking where is that army at, what is the movement looking like. Oh, I like that forward depot a little bit.
Yeah.
Not a lot, but a little bit. That's kind of cool. You don't see that very often.
And so now we have the army moving out over here through the SpeCial's kind of over here at 6 o'clock. Again, I'm on the same page as you are, Toast. I don't think this is going to be able to do anything, but SpeCial says otherwise. He's sieging up. Now we have auto turrets coming down here, immediately disabling these 2 tanks. And this means he'll be able to take out most of the artillery here in the front. And what I just look at and say is a very questionable attack here by SpeCial.
Yeah.
I don't understand, even before Stim finishes on both sides.
Yeah.
I don't get it. He sees the Ravens.
Yeah.
Like, there's no secret to how this matchup works in this kind of game at this phase. It's
True.
like, I
Yeah.
don't believe there's any incentive as the third base is being taken, as your 2 other barracks are finishing, to push out.
He must have thought he was, like, in a good enough position. The thing is, if there weren't Ravens there, then yeah, that does well.
Yeah, but he saw the Ravens.
Yeah, that is the problem.
This is just,
That's the conundrum that we find ourselves within after saying SpeCial's very good at TBT.
I'm very confused with what I saw there. And
a bit of a misstep. I mean, I don't know how else to put it, right?
Well, not only that, I mean, I don't think there were any tanks lost there on TaeJa's side. So the tank count's going to remain superior. Their upgrades, other than that, are fairly synced up. I mean, we see that TaeJa has a small lead in some instances here, like attack and armor, but I guess what I don't get is why would SpeCial attack then? I mean, look, let's go big picture here, because we cast a lot of games, right? And look, I think StarCraft is a very, it's so complex and it's so mysterious at times, and so many people I think are at times trying to act like they know what they're talking about. But this is a really basic rule to follow, is if you're expanding very hard and you're making all those buildings that are going to allow you to have a stronger push later, it's kind of a weird thing to see someone attack and expand at the same time.
Yeah. Well,
And there's very specific timings where maybe that could be a different thing, but not in this one if you're both going on 3 bases. This is a mirror matchup, by the way.
the thing is to commit fully into their defense, like keeping some pressure on, looking for holes and stuff, while you expand can be a very smart thing to do, but the committal, I guess, is where it becomes very questionable.
Pressure is one thing, committal completely different.
Yeah.
And now, you know, it's going to be TaeJa's turn. TaeJa's allowed the third base that he's got and the patience that he had in this game in defending to basically set up so that he can actually try to come out here and take on his opponent. And he's got, look at this, you know, the push is going to come up here. Now, I don't know that this is going to kill SpeCial, but it won't be an easy one for SpeCial to deal with, and it's in a certainly a more logical period of the game to do something like this.
Ooh, if he can pick these off, that's amazing.
Nice.
One Raven goes down. That was a very good move from SpeCial. Siege is up on this high ground. You can see they're both scanning each other over and over, trying to figure out where are they at. SpeCial actually canceled his 4th command center, realizing there was too much pressure over here. So he's going to sit in a more turtled position now and see what he can get done with his Vikings.
Well, SpeCial decides to try to sneak some of his military out over here on the left and then hit this location, which is actually unguarded. You can see the infantry are moving here now.
Yeah, we actually just saw that TaeJa had a Marine sitting there kind of as a scout, and that was really beautifully done. SpeCial actually stims and takes that engage for a moment before backing up.
And this is a pretty serious amount of infantry. I mean, if you're out of position with anything, this can stim and just shoot it down pretty fast.
See some flavor of TY here, where he's sitting with most of his units at home, trying to roam with the other set, but TaeJa's defense is strong.
Yeah, looking very good. And I do think that SpeCial probably is a better player overall, and as the game goes longer, I think we might end up seeing some of that, even though I don't agree with that attack early on. And even though TaeJa had this pretty good setup, I think he might have outlasted the need to be holding that right now. This is what I'm talking about, this one right here. And
that
now,
location's not actually gaining him anything.
Yeah. It's a location that SpeCial's opted to ignore.
Oh, I don't know about this attack here from SpeCial. I think he might feel pressured here to get something done since he's down a whole base. But he's not really finding too many ways in.
It's going to be up to him to try to hold this.
Yeah, not quite enough to break through there, unfortunately.
Auto turrets spammed out to kill off some of those tanks.
TaeJa's putting up a strong game right now.
TaeJa, I think, can take this if he just keeps up.
Yeah.
You know, if he stays on 4 bases to SpeCial's 3 and SpeCial doesn't have a miracle play.
He's up 2 upgrades. He's got way more siege tanks, 13 to 4.
Yeah.
This looks like a TaeJa victory. Well, SpeCial is about to catch up on those upgrades.
A lot of this goes back to that failed push early on from SpeCial. I think some of the ideas he's had since he messed up there have been pretty good, but I mean, he's already in a deficit here. And now TaeJa can just come in and crush because he has so many more tanks.
I think that's going to be GG.
I think you're right, Artosis. I don't see any easy way to stop this. And even if SpeCial were to, yeah, GG. Even if SpeCial were to stop that, it's like, yeah, but do you come back and win now? Damn.
Tough one there for SpeCial.
Yeah.
I think TaeJa played a very solid game, though. I like how he kind of got into a position where he could force the cancel in the 4th base.
Sure.
That's what forced SpeCial's hand, I think, where he got very aggressive there at the end and it didn't work. Because he's down a base and he knows it. And that's a very tough spot to be in. So he wanted to try to get something done. Can't really blame him for that part. Now, that doesn't mean that the series is over by any means. I think SpeCial can show us a much better game number 2.
I hope so, man. But it's also exciting to see that TaeJa really can, in a mirror matchup like this, out-muscle SpeCial. That's pretty impressive. TVT is a really tough matchup nowadays. People are very, very good at it. And Pfizer decided in a matter of seconds. We're going to go to Eternal Empire for game number 2. SpeCial needs to win 2 games in a row to get to the final match. If TaeJa wins one of the next 2 games, he is going to be going up against Hurricane instead. SpeCial was the favorite going into this, but right now TaeJa, at least from game 1, is looking a little bit stronger. Let's see what happens as we start game 2.
전투 준비 완료.
One by one, soon they are.
SpeCial, 후안 로페즈. 팀 리퀴드, 태자, 윤영석.
So I'm mostly interested in seeing how the early game builds are going to go here. Because SpeCial, I think he had a bad read. Unless there's something I'm just not getting here. I mean, it just seems like if you're both expanding on 3 bases, you both have the same number of tanks and everything. I mean, you just so maybe he had a bad read on what was happening and thought that there was something even more greedy that TaeJa was trying to do, and SpeCial thought he had an actual opportunity there to come in and try to punish that. I want to see how he plays the early game here, because I think SpeCial would not try to defend his attack in game 1, the early one.
No. Well, yeah, he could have thought he had a little bit more edge. For the very, very first engagement, he really wrecked what TaeJa had, killed a couple Reapers for free, and yeah, I'm not sure. But I think that this will be going to 3 games. Like, I mean, I know it's obviously early on, but I don't feel like that last game was very representative of SpeCial's TBT.
I totally agree with you.
And I think that he even played well against stats overall, you know?
Sure.
It's not like he was... It doesn't seem like he's playing poorly today.
But this has always been a theme with SpeCial, is he always looks like he could be one of the best, but he's not. You know what I'm saying? He's like just...
I feel like he broke out of that recently with his WCS finals against SpeCial, and then also his deep run in GSL where he got out of the group that TY did not get out of. Between those two, I was like, okay, he's finally broken out.
He's
to the point where it's like,
free,
okay, this guy's a guy who's probably eventually going to get a championship somewhere.
But he's one of those guys that doesn't have like one yet here for GSL, for instance, and I'm kind of just still waiting for that to happen. And we've had a couple players who are like really, really good, but have not actually won this tournament that they played in more than any other tournament.
Yeah, yeah. And,
you know?
well, I think GSL is still out of his reach for sure. Just to be clear on that. But, you know, he's I think he is one of those top class players at this point, though. You know,
for sure.
It's like, this is a danger guy. This is a guy that if he makes round of 8, you shouldn't be like, whoa.
So what I'm trying to say is when you see a game like that last one, it kind of says, yeah, this is sort of one of the things that's going on here why you're not already out of the group.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes he looks amazing, and then sometimes he has a game where I'm like, I don't know about that, man.
That's most players, I guess, as well. Yeah. Like even, look, Rogue fell out of the group already. Well, Scarlet cheesed the hell out of
Scarlet, yeah. Cheesed the
so
hell
maybe
out
I
of
shouldn't
that.
use him as the example.
With some no regret builds, man.
but
they were like Master Blaster over there, just taking him on.
I love it.
So we have, again, TaeJa coming out here, testing the boundaries of SpeCial.
SpeCial a little bit more teched out at the moment. Catch.
We have that third command center coming here for SpeCial. But maybe he does another kind of push we saw. I mean, we saw it in game 1. Meanwhile, the CC is just now starting here for TaeJa, so the build orders are looking a little bit different.
Yeah, for sure. TaeJa's is like, it feels like he's trying to defend harassment, right? He's got those extra cyclones sitting around, but SpeCial's actually making tanks, which scale much better.
Right.
And he has the quicker third command. So just as far as like this moment in the game, I am digging SpeCial's spot, but TaeJa's getting that second Raven. You never know. So you can get some very interesting engagements with that, right? You disable a couple tanks, you get your lock-ons.
Yeah.
Suddenly the world is on fire.
Here comes that third CC now. No scouting of this by TaeJa yet. Obviously, he suspects it's a possibility. And instead of scan over here, and actually when you scan, you see just those 3 buildings, you're usually thinking, okay, he's got a third base.
Yeah.
Or he's put all his buildings somewhere really weird. And in this case, it's going to be the same thing here. He scans and he sees, you know, the pacing of the other structures, and At the pro level, they're basically able to fill in the gaps for what they see.
Yeah. If there's money missing, it's gotta be somewhere.
Especially in TVT, I'd say, as a matchup.
I think mirrors, it's the one that would come most easily.
Sure, yeah.
Because you're like, well, if I have this much, they should have this much.
Well, PvP, it can be a little bit weird. There's a lot of funny math with that. But yeah, usually in mirror matchups, sure.
Yeah. So Special's going to be going into mech here against TaeJa's bio. Yeah, I'm excited to see how TaeJa actually approaches this because mech has changed a lot.
SpeCial is also one of the players that will oscillate between bio and mech.
Yeah. He uses mech more than most, for sure. Him and TY both like mech in general.
These guys are both old school Brood War players, though. That might be a factor as to why.
Because they're smart and handsome and cunning and talented.
You know, like a lot of Brood War players like to mess with mech still, if they have a history in it.
Well, you know the power it really can hold.
Yeah. So we have those two armories coming down. Now, generally speaking, with mech, that player gets to be active on the map a little bit later.
Oh, yeah.
It takes a while for the factories to finish and then for you to have produced enough out of the factories that you're where you want to be as far as this tech goes. And so TaeJa's going to have a little bit more freedom, a little bit more room to stretch as we go into the next phase of the game here.
And TaeJa, once he figures out what's going on, is going to basically have a few choices to make. One, you can jump up the tech tree into Sky Terran, getting a larger Viking count and possibly getting Liberators, that type of thing.
Yeah.
He can stay very aggressive with a bio-based play. Or sometimes you do something kind of in between there where you get a lot of siege tanks to kind of help your Marine Marauder to make it difficult for the mech player to move around. So we'll see what TaeJa prefers. But making another command center.
And I think he can probably get away with this.
Oh, yeah.
The 4th CC down there.
Sure.
You know, when there's periods of time, and I mean, yeah, you can sometimes come out with some mech units and fight, but generally speaking, you can't activate yourself as fast. Especially against bio, which is quite nimble and does damage very quickly. So we see that chased away. There's Cyclone chased away. And yeah, I think it's going to be probably one of our slower games, at least to start things off, Artosis.
Yeah.
This is unfortunate. He might lose all his bio. Okay, good thing he saved that. You know, we don't normally think of the Marines as really, really valuable. And like you need to, but if you lose enough in the early game and you're not trading him at all, it could be really bad.
TaeJa adds a bunch of barracks right there. So gonna stay on that bio for now. SpeCial throwing down the scan.
And so with these techs, you end up with very different unit comps. So yes, you do have tanks for TaeJa, but it's mostly Marines and medevacs. And you know, the strength in Marine and medevac is that if you stim and let's say that their tanks are not in siege mode, you can kill everything. Or they're just out of position, you kill everything. But the problem is that as a mech player, if you get all your mech units out, they're fully upgraded, and you get into a superior position, they usually can't stop you.
Yeah.
So a lot of the
bio army will never break like a maxed out mech army.
Yeah, although the bio army can counterattack, and we do see situations like that occur, a lot of it is just in a game like this, the bio army trying to prevent the mech army from getting where they want to be and punishing the slower movement and everything else. And by the way, TaeJa just going to shut this down easily.
Well, he shuts down one and then runs from the other one and disables.
Oh
Beautifully
my God.
done by
SpeCial
TaeJa.
is getting wrecked in this series.
Great defense.
Now the mech army's coming out here.
Well, he does lose those 2 medevacs and everything, but you know what? This is the main push. I'm kind of surprised he's out here this early, but he does have a high supply. Ooh, very nice armor shred right there. Pushes him back for now.
Yes, but the damage hasn't been dealt yet. The position hasn't been gained here by SpeCial. Right now, TaeJa's farming from another base. While SpeCial's going to try to edge up here. I love that. He even has one Marine to kill the SCV that was making at 12 o'clock, the command center at 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
But again, this many siege tanks here from SpeCial is a real threat. The splash damage can obliterate everything that gets too close to it. But you can see TaeJa's being very, very patient. He has a big line of Marauders and some Marines staying just out of range.
He's also working on his Viking count really heavily here.
Cancel up there, that's huge.
That is nice. And as he builds this Viking count, like if he can take over the air, that's really, really nice. Oh my God, is he actually gonna try this?
Here we go. A drop on these tanks. The unsieges. There's just way too many Marauders. So
forcing that unsiege was pretty nice, so he gets his tanks into a bit of a better position.
Oh, he does disable some of those Vikings, which allow his Vikings to come push through. But if that disable wears off, he might be able to whip back around and continue to fight this. No, 2 more Vikings come in here, giving him superior air force, but then 2 more come in here for SpeCial.
The Vikings arm race right now.
No
SpeCial going to move back in.
Well, if
that
he
air
gets-
dominance is so important in tank versus tank.
Yeah, if he gets air dominance, then he can actually push back over here. Here come 2 more Vikings. We have to imagine 2 more are also inbound over here. A stim comes in here, and he comes from above, 360 degrees of damage. TaeJa crushing through SpeCial.
Oh, SpeCial having a hard time right there. Loses his entire tank force. Now, can he actually keep his bases?
I don't
This
think
is
he
what's
can,
important.
Artosis. I think
Oh,
the
he didn't
writing
start
might be
his
on the
2-2.
wall. I think those coffin guys are dancing right now. This is just looking bad here.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
he's got so many CCs coming down. And, I mean, the one Marine actually denied the 12 o'clock spot. There's a second 12 o'clock spot that's a planetary. Now, maybe because it's a planetary, SpeCial can save this, but SpeCial, I do not
What's he
believe can
sieging
curb
right
the
there
growth.
for? No! Those tanks are going to die for free now.
Yep.
All right, well, some Thors come out. There's no medevacs or anything, so you got to be a little bit careful here. Oh, is he going to randomly get these tanks? Kind of a funny situation.
Yes, but the tanks that are set up over here are already beginning to hammer the planetary. And I mean, if SpeCial loses his planetary, SpeCial will be on 3 bases to the 5 bases, plus 2 additional CCs that TaeJa is making. TaeJa is back from the past and dominating against a very modern top-tier Terran player in SpeCial.
Yeah, he's playing a very nice game right here. SpeCial having a hard time holding on. He's sieged up with the planetary balls. This is not good news right now. It's 5 base against 3.
It is raining in Mexico, Artosis. This is brutal. TaeJa is just continuing to move around and crush.
Yes. And SpeCial, I'm not sure how you come back from this. It's very, very tough. I love that we've even seen some Ravens added back into this composition. Those extra siege tanks that TaeJa have are going to really help him to hold these positions as well.
Okay, here we go. A stim forward, and these tanks are looking pretty vulnerable.
Gets some big volleys, but it is not enough. The disables go down those siege tanks.
Next
GG.
level play. TaeJa 2-0ing SpeCial.
Yeah, some strong play there from TaeJa. Congrats to him. SpeCial, unfortunately, not going to make it far in this season. Round 24 is where his story ends.
We do look forward to seeing him in the next season, but yeah, I mean, TaeJa saying that he still has a shot. I'd be curious to see how Hurricane feels after seeing those games.
Yeah.
Although SpeCial is an excellent player, I would say there were some small errors in decision-making there. I'm not really talking about him going mech, but again, that push in game 1.
Well, even the push we saw there, TaeJa had enough tanks on the high ground that was always going to be really hard.
I mean, game 1.
I'm talking game 2.
Game 2, though, okay.
Yeah. Well, it's just he was trying to push up the hill against siege tanks. It's just so difficult
Too hard to do. We'll be right back with our final match. Don't go away.
Drinking my demons away. Nothing I do it won't change the truth. It won't be an easy,